Hello, this is Matthew Robert Payne. Cut myself on my lip early today. I can see it on the video. Just a little introduction. I've been a Christian since I was 8. I'm 52 now. So that's 46 years, 44 years. I spent quite a while away from the Lord. I struggle with addictions, and recently, over the last few years, I've grown really close to the Lord. I'm called as a prophet, and the Lord speaks through me. I've written about 55 Christian books, and I'll have a link in the description to my page on Amazon. Many people watch my videos that already know me, and I encourage you, if you're really blessed by this message from the Lord, I really encourage you to share it with your friends. I sort of have a sense of what Jesus is going to say, but he's the boss. So I'll just let him speak from now on. This video is called Some Encouragement from Jesus Christ. So I'll let him speak. The next time you hear my name, it'll be Jesus speaking. So Matthew has got himself a coffee, and he's relaxed, and he's not aware of how long this message is going to be from me. If you're watching this video with Jesus speaking through Matthew, know that you, the individual who's listening, who can hear this, you're special to me. Some of you are Christians. Many of the people that follow Matthew are Christians, but some of you are curious about the Christian faith. You haven't decided to follow me. Some of you are almost enemies of mine, or would assume that you're enemies of mine. I know every one of you. I can't address each one of you specifically with this video, because there may be many people that watch it, but I do know you. And when I was in the Garden of Gethsemane, I struggled because of the excruciating pain that was going to come, but many Christians since have gone through similar or worse pain. There's Christians in China and other nations that are tortured more than 6 hours, like I was on a cross. And they went through and do go through a lot more pain than me. I was upset because I was going to spend some time away from my father's presence, and I'd never done that, and that was going to be particularly hard on me. I really did get pushed beyond what my flesh could handle. I asked my father 3 times if he could stop what was going on. Was there another way? People misunderstand me largely because people who preach me and share about me don't really know me as well as they may assume, as well as they may think. I can't be understood by going to Bible college, going to university, or any sort of theological college. I get to be understood just like you understand your friends. You talk to your friends face to face. You ask your friends questions. You Ask your friends questions about the questions that you asked. And the next week when you meet your friends, you ask them about how their week was and how did they go doing such and how did such and such take what you're going to say to them. And each week you'll share what you plan to do. You'll talk about your relationships with certain people and how this one's difficult and how this one is really fun. And you'll share every aspect of your life with a close friend. And so many people in leadership, there's so many people who are Christians who are doing their best as Christians, but they don't have two-way conversations with me. They don't ask me questions. They don't know my heart. They don't understand me. They don't know what I think of certain people. It's a curious sort of friendship. It's religious. It's people are religious. They pray. They read their Bible. They go to church, and they talk Christian things with their friends. But I like to bring Donald Trump into a lot of what I say, a lot of what the Holy Spirit says through Matthew. So we'll use him as an example. Matthew's read 2 books by Donald Trump. He's seen him at his events about over 100 times. He's watched Donald Trump for an hour or so preach, and he sort of preaches, doesn't he? Share at his event. He's seen Donald in many interviews. He's talked to many people about Donald Trump. So if you followed Matthew on his Facebook wall, if you're a friend of Matthew's, you'll even see him post things about Donald Trump and say things about Donald Trump. He prays for Donald Trump. He's fully on board what they call the Trump train. But Matthew doesn't know Donald. Matthew knows a lot about him, but he doesn't know him. He can't pick up the phone and get put through to the White House and speak to Donald Trump. He's never sat opposite of him face to face and shared coffee or tea or whatever Donald drinks. He doesn't even know if Donald drinks tea or coffee, and if he drinks coffee, how many sugars he has in his coffee. He's not aware of how many times Donald goes to the toilet, whether he's got a weak bladder or a strong bladder. He's not aware of what Donald does for fun when he's just relaxing. Does he just turn on the regular TV and get assaulted by all the news stories? He doesn't know the nice things that Donald does for his wife and his children. Has no awareness of the little things he does for his wife or the little things that he does for his children to show that he really loves them. He's aware that Donald likes to spend time and give people time, likes to ask questions and dialogue with people. One of his ways he shows love is time spent. But Matthew's read that in interviews and books and things people have said about Donald, but he doesn't know him. He can't advise him. I could give him directions to give Donald that come from heaven, and Matthew wouldn't be able to reach him and get in touch with him and give him that direction. There's so many people in the Christian church like that when it comes to me. They have no idea about me. They don't know me. And if there's a purpose in this encouragement, if there's a purpose in this video, my purpose is to say, hey, learn how to talk to me. Matthew's got a book on how to hear from God, and he's got a book called 7 Keys to Intimacy with Jesus. Here, I'll have him put those books in the description, so you can click on the link how to hear from God, and you can teach yourself how to have two-way conversations with my father and myself, and for you to grow in intimacy with me. I'll have Matthew will have the link of the book 7 Keys to Intimacy with Jesus. I'm not quoting these books for Matthew to sell hundreds of these books. Really, Matthew's got so many expenses that he's always looking for hundreds of thousands of dollars to publish his next project. He's not in the business of selling things through using my voice. But these are keys. These are important books for people to read. I really want you to concentrate in this year and the coming years. I really want you to concentrate on, number one, growing close to me, and number two, being able to speak to me. Being able to speak to me back and forth is just one dimension that you need in order to draw close to me. And 7 Keys to Intimacy will teach you how to get close to me. Matthew didn't do research for that book. He didn't read other people's books. He just sat down with the leading of the Holy Spirit and wrote down what he feels were the most important keys that he implemented to get close to me. So the book is totally written out of his experience. It mightn't have as many verses in it that you'd wish, and Matthew has spent some time away from the Bible of late because people use the Bible to bring in false teaching. So he's still healing from that. But I really want you to concentrate this year in getting to know me. Now, if you have a close relationship with me, you talk back and forth to me, you can ask me any sort of question, I can answer you. You've got open access to heaven. You can meet angels, meet saints, meet the Father, go to heaven. You can talk to me anytime. If you've got that sort of relationship with me, which is rare, not impossible, but rare, I want you to go further. If you're at that state, I want you to go further this year. I want you to start to ask me about the things that concern me, the troubles and the trials and the struggles and the things that are really upsetting me, and talk to me about it, and let me be a friend to you that can almost dump on you. You know, sometimes people meet you and all they do is talk about their bad issues, and they sort of come along to you, and the whole hour experience is them dumping all their troubles on you. And that can be sad, and you know, if that continues, you need to talk to the person. But I want someone that I can dump stuff on. I want friends that will bear up my troubles. You know, Moses had both his arms lifted, and whenever his arms were lifted, they were winning the battle. I need someone to lift my arms up now. I need people that can understand me, that I can have a frank talk with. And I may start talking about the church and my frustrations with the church, and what's wrong with the church, and strategies that need to be implemented to improve my church. I might talk about things that are difficult for you to receive, difficult for you to listen to. You may have a tremendous opinion of the church, and a real lover of your own personal church, a real lover of the church as a whole. And if you're like that and you're not open to hearing the honest truth about the state of the American church or the state of your country's church, I mightn't be, I might be blocked out. You mightn't allow me to speak my truth. And so I want friends, not only you people who've got this advanced relationship with me that I spoke about, but all of you people. I want all of you listening to this, and this may only be listened to 100 people by 100 people or something. I want all of you who are listening, all of you who can see this on their phone or their computer, I want all of you to develop a relationship with me. Learn how to speak back and forth. Learn how to discern when Satan's trying to trick you, and learn how to tell the difference in whose voice is what, so you have confidence when I'm speaking to you. And that takes some time, but you can do that. Matthew's been through that, and he talks about it in his book. I want you all to reach a stage where I can be real with you, where I can share with you. You may be the only one in your church that I'm talking to about your specific church. You may be the only one in your church that I can talk to you about what's happening in your country. You may be the only one in your city who've got a very intimate relationship with me, where I can talk about anything. And I'm not expecting you to stop all the drug trade in your city. I'm not expecting you to stop the trafficked children and the trafficked prostitution circles in your city. I'm not calling you to be the person who brings massive change in your city or your country. I just need people to talk to. I need real friends. You know, you can imagine, we'll use Donald Trump again. You can imagine there's a lot of people who Donald, you've seen over the last couple of years that he's had this continual turnover in the White House, in his staff, because a whole lot of people who started with him were suggested by the Republican Party, and he was forced to sort of take on board. And he's constantly going through this reshuffling process to try and find people that will work with him, that will be loyal to him, and will work on doing strategies and putting things in place and activating things that he wants to see. Of course, he wants people around him to say, that's a good ideal, that's a good idea in practice, but this is how the world works. And so your idea won't really work. What we need to do is this. And it's not particularly what you're saying, but if we do this and then do this a year later, we'll achieve what you want to do. We just can't do what you want to do right now. He needs friends like that. He needs people that he can trust, that he can get things talked over and implemented through. And I need people on the ground. You may think, I don't know how many of you have read Matthew's books and how many watch his videos. You may be thinking to yourself, I could never be like Matthew. I'm never going to reach the stage of talking to angels and talking to saints and speaking to Jesus all the time and having all these encounters. And I say you can. I say Matthew's just an example. He still struggles with a couple of things, and they get him down. And I have to constantly lift his face up. And you know how like a guy may be looking down, like a husband may be in shame looking down, and his wife comes along and puts her hand under his chin and lifts his face and looks into his face and says, there's nothing that you can ever do that will stop me loving you. And he may be in shame thinking about what he's just done, and he's spent the rent money on gambling, or he's done something. And just to have a wife come along and lift his face and say, I love you. And that's how I'm saying this in this video to you personally, to you, the individual that's listening to this. I understand you. I may not have suffered everything you've suffered, you know. When I was a child, I was never ritually abused. I was never sexually abused. You know, I had a father that was, you know, loved me the best, but there was this tension there with me and Joseph that he knew that I was the son of the father. He knew that he wasn't a father, and he did his best. So I had a bit of hurt there, a bit of tension there. You know, my mother was and Joseph had a bad reputation that they had a baby out of wedlock, and or they become pregnant out of wedlock, and there were rumors, and I suffered a lot of things, but I was never sexually abused, which a lot of people are these days. And there's a lot of things that people go through that I didn't go through. And for some of you, that may have been your blockage to getting close to me. You may think to yourself, well, he hasn't been through what I've been through. How could he understand? But I do. You know yourself, when you've suffered sexual abuse, when you hear of someone being locked in cages and raped as a trafficked prostitute from childhood to early teens to adulthood, you haven't been locked in cages and you weren't forced into prostitution, but out of your own hurt, out of your own sexual abuse and rapes that you've had, you can project that and try and put yourself in their position, and you can have an amount of empathy for someone who suffered worse than you. You can you would never say that you know how they feel, but which can be really insulting. But you can have empathy for what they've been through the lens of what you've been through. And I've seen everything you've been through. I've seen, and I've got a tremendous capacity for compassion and empathy, and I do understand. On the cross, when I was on the cross, I felt everyone's abuse, everyone's sin, everyone's abuse, everything everyone was to go through, I went through in feelings on the cross. So I did feel your abuse on the cross, and I died for you. So, you know, for some of you who aren't quite there, that aren't prepared to draw close to me this year, I would suggest that you start to approach counselors and get some healing so that you can become there, so you can reach a stage in the next year or two to get close to me. And you can join YouTube and like this video and come back to it and listen to it when you're ready. But most of you, I want to personally, and I'm talking to you, and I know who you are when you're listening. I want to invite you to become my friend. I want to invite you to become close to me. I want to be able to share my heart with you. And of course, I'll share angels and saints, and I'll teach you how to go to heaven. And it's good for you to interact with me in heaven outside the world. It's good for you to interact with me face to face in visions. It's good for you to interact with other saints that are other dimensions of me and my personality. And it's good for you to interact with angels. And all that comes as a result of being very close to me. But I really invite you to draw close to me. And one way to, Matthew's heard this testimony about 4 times from people who were formerly readers of his that got in touch, and now he talks to over Facebook phone, so that they've become friends. And these 4 people have said that their lives have gone to a whole new level since they started reading his books. And so I encourage you not only to read the 2 that Matthew will have in the description, but he'll have a link to his Amazon page there. I really encourage you to start reading all of his books, because his books, as you get through the whole 50 of them, but even after you've read about 5 or 10, it'll just take you from level to level. It'll build your faith, and they're full of testimony and stories and Matthew's heart, and it'll just bring you to another level. And please excuse me, I'm not a prosperity preacher. I'm not a popular Christian preacher who's after money, and I'm not after money for Matthew. And I'm not saying read Matthew's books so that he'll earn a whole lot of money. And I think that's the case. There's a lot of Bibles being read in the world, and I really recommend you reading a version that suits you, that you can understand. But I don't make any money from Bibles, and I won't make any money if hundreds of people buy Matthew's books. So that his ministry will, and if this video went viral and millions of people read it, watched it, which isn't going to happen, his ministry would generate a lot of money, and there's always reasons and ways for him to spend money on the kingdom. So it's not a sales spill, but I really encourage you to take the time not only to read those 2 books and apply them. So many people reading books, what I've found personally, and Matthew has found too, is so many people read books but don't apply them. There's just so many Christians in the world that are supposed to follow me that have no idea what I taught and no understanding of how I told them to live. And as you read those books, you'll hear my 50 commandments and what I want you to do, and you'll get a list of them, and you can start doing that. Matthew's got a book called The Parables of Jesus Made Simple. I encourage you to read that to get some understanding behind what a lot of my parables say. I really loved the world. It would seem, with Matthew's research in the last 8 weeks, it would seem that the Illuminati, who are in control, the head of all the puppets is the Illuminati. It would seem that Satan and his Illuminati and special agents are in control of this world. And scripturally, it's Satan's referred to as the God of this world, or the spirit of the age. But even if Satan won 95% of the population, the 5% that come home to heaven, the 5% that I use to rule the world in the future, they're going to be the best of the best. When cream comes to the top, and that's just the most beautiful part, the cream. Like on a cake, there's cream on top. Let's just tops off everything that comes below it. I'm looking for the cream, the very best. And I'm speaking to you personally. I want to make you the best. I want so many people, I'm pointing at you, I want so many of you to live a life a whole lot better than Matthew and go past Matthew. I'd like to use Matthew as a foundation and build everyone upon that foundation. And and eclipse him and do better than him and see and experience things a whole lot better. I want to develop you into a very close friend. I want to, and here's something controversial, I'm sure for some listeners. I want to bring all of you, the women and the men, I want to bring you and fashion you all into prophets. I want to, yeah, how I say that, you may be saying, I don't want to be a prophet. I don't think I'm a prophet. And there may be all sort of fireworks going off in your head at the moment. But the simplest definition Matthew's ever heard of a prophet is God's friend. I want all of you to become my friend. I want to have an intimate relationship with all of you. And that includes you if you're not a Christian. That includes you if you feel like you're my enemy and you're just watching Matthew's channel to see what's happening. I want to bring all of you into an intimate, close relationship. One where you can ask me questions about anything, anytime, and I'll answer you the question. I want to share my secrets. I want you to be able to open up the Bible and understand what it's saying. I want you to be able to watch the news and hear my commentary of what's happening behind the scenes and why they're saying that, and this is the real truth. I want when you go walking through a park that you're interacting with me and saints and angels. I want to be with you wherever you go. I want to be with you when you're sinning. I want to be seated next to you when you're in sin. I want you to be able to walk away from that prostitute or that adultery or that gambling or that drinking at a bar. Or I want you to be able to walk away from your sin and meet with me and walk up the street hand in hand, talking about how I'll forgive you and restoring our friendship. I want to be with you as you go through inner healing and start to come out of your addictions and your troubles. I want to travel with you. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what you're doing. When I put my arms out on the cross, when I was crucified, Matthew's got a you can't see it there, but just there, you can see where the nail went. When the nails went through my arms and my blood was poured out and I died. I died for every single sin that you're doing, that you've done and that you're doing. I want to welcome you home. I want to use you. I'm looking for an army. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a trusted number of people that can march and do what I tell them to do. I want to develop so many of you, all of you, if you come. I want to develop you into a powerful force. And like I said, I want to train you into being my mouthpiece, someone who can walk and talk and share my message. I'd love in 2 years' time for every one of you to be able to do a video and have me speak through them like this. I want to train you up. Matthew's got 6 books on the prophetic that you can read and learn how to become what I want you to become. I want to raise people up to be my friends. I want to raise people up who can have an effect on and influence their circle of influence. I really want to encourage you to get to know me. And as I say that, so many of you are thinking of your sin and how you're not worthy and how if you knew me, you wouldn't say that. And I'm saying I know all of you. I know everyone that's watching. And I want you. And the worst, the most despicable that you are, I want you. You know, I said to the leaders of the day that I didn't come for the righteous, I come for the sick. It's only the sick that need a doctor. So the more worse that you are, the more unqualified that you feel, the more I want you. I really need people with great testimonies. I really need people who've come out of complete darkness and have come into the light and have become my very best ambassadors. I need you. Time is getting short. We're in the last 20 or 30 years in the world, and Matthew's not meant to know the time of the day, but he feels around about that. And let's just say we're in the last 20 or 30 years, and we need the army. I need people for the future. I need people who know me. And just like Matthew's analogy, he's a really big supporter of Donald Trump, and he'd do anything he could to support Donald Trump, but he doesn't know him. He doesn't know him. And there's so many of you who are Christians who are listening to this. You know all about me. You know what I preach. You know my sermons. You know my parables. You know everything about me, but you haven't got access to me. You don't know me. How many of you have sat down face to face in the flesh with me? How many of you know me that well enough? How many of you are getting littler and littler? How many people of you have met me in a vision and sat down face to face? How many have sat in a vision and been in heaven and met me? How many of you have met my Father face to face? How many of you have met my Father and me face to face in your house? How many of you have done miracles? How many of you can speak in my voice? How many of you become the light in a room when you walk into a room? I want to train you all. I want to equip you all. I want to bring you to this fantastic place where you're an answer to everyone's questions. Would you join YouTube and make a comment and say what you think of this video down below? Would you join YouTube, start your own membership with YouTube, and write a comment? Would you share this video with your friends on Facebook? Would you press the thumbs up if you're a member of YouTube and say, yeah, I like that? Would you contact someone that you love and send them this video? I encourage you all to read the 2 books that Matthew suggests and apply them. I want all of you to be able to talk to me face to face. I want all of you to be my friend. I am genuinely looking for new friends, and I want you to be one of them. I hope that this message encouraged you. No matter where you are, no matter who you are, no matter what you're up to, I want you. God bless you. And if you want to subscribe to Matthew's channel, press the subscribe, and next to it will come up a little bell. Click the bell, and you'll get notifications of Matthew's future videos. I really Matthew will have his Facebook page there. Join and become his friend. Write him a message on Messenger and say that you listen to this video. please do what I asked you to do. Read those 2 books and apply them, and stay in circles so that you know Matthew, and together we'll grow and take the world. God bless.